It's funny, we're so good at managing our external lives, right? Our calendars, our careers, our social media. But what about that whole world inside? Well, today, we're diving into a 2,000-year-old framework that's basically a practical guide for getting a handle on your inner life.
And that entire inner world, that whole universe going on between your ears, it really all hinges on one single thing: the relationship you have with yourself. Everything we're going to talk about today starts right there. So, let's just pause for a second and ask that. What is your relationship with yourself? I mean, do you actively work on it? Do you kind of just ignore it and hope for the best? Or maybe you've just never really thought about it that way before. Whatever your answer is, that's the perfect starting point.
So, where do we even begin? Well, this is where we get our toolkit, the Niyamas. Now, even though they come from yogic philosophy, trust me, you do not need a yoga mat to use them. Just think of them as 5 core principles for self-training, a way to build a healthier, more aware relationship with yourself from the inside out.
All right, so what's actually in this toolkit? Let's open it up and take a look at the 5 inner observances that help us work with our body, our senses, and our mind.
Okay, so here they are: Shaucha, Santosha, Tapa, Swadhyaya, and Ishra Pranidhana. Now, don't get hung up on the names. Let's just focus on what they actually mean and how they can be seriously powerful tools in our everyday lives.
First up is Shaucha, which means purity. And this is way more than just, having a clean room. It's about mental hygiene, clearing out the clutter in your mind, like those negative thought loops and all the distractions, just to create a clearer, more focused space inside. Next, we have Santosha, or contentment. Now, this does not mean giving up on your goals or becoming passive. Not at all. It's about letting go of that constant, draining feeling that things should be different. It's the powerful practice of just accepting what is, right now, as your starting point.
Then there's Tapa. You can think of this as generating inner heat through self-discipline. This is how we train our senses so we're not just a slave to every little impulse. It's that fire you build when you choose the healthy meal over the junk food, or you get up and work out when you really don't feel like it. That effort, that forges real inner strength.
Our 4th tool is Swadhyaya, or self-study. This is all about becoming a curious student of your own mind. You just turn your awareness inward and observe your patterns, your habits, your beliefs. And the key is you do it without judgment, just with a genuine desire to understand what makes you tick.
And finally, we have Ishvara Pranidhana. This is often translated as surrender, but I think a much better way to think about it is letting go of the result. It means you put in your absolute best effort, you do the work, and then you release your tight grip on the outcome. You learn to trust the process.
Okay, so we've got our 5 tools. Fantastic. But where do we actually use them? See, this practice isn't just for when you're meditating. It happens in 3 key arenas of our daily lives: our actions, our speech, and our thoughts.
And this right here is a really, really critical distinction. Most of us, we just see our actions, words, and thoughts as one big, tangled mess. The real key to this practice is learning how to untangle them, to see them as 3 separate, though totally connected, fields where we can apply our awareness.
Yep, 3. That's the magic number to remember. By breaking our practice down into these 3 areas, we stop trying to fix everything all at once. It just makes the whole process feel way more manageable and, honestly, incredibly effective.
And the practice actually flows from the outside in. So we start with our actions. Those are the easiest things to observe, right? Are they in line with these principles? Then we move to our speech, which is a little more subtle. And finally, we get to our thoughts, the real source code of it all, and definitely the most challenging place to bring our awareness.
So, the first arena is your actions. And the practice is super simple. Just watch. Observe what you physically do throughout the day. Are your actions coming from discipline or from impulse? From a place of contentment or frustration? Remember, no judgment, just witness. Next, you take that exact same detached observation and you apply it to your speech. Listen to the words you use. Are they pure in their intention? Do they reflect self-awareness? You're not trying to change a thing just yet. You're simply becoming the observer of your own words.
And finally, we arrive at the source, your thoughts. The practice is exactly the same. You just witness them as they float by. Are they creating a feeling of contentment or anxiety? Are they actually helpful? This is the deepest level of the work.
And here it is. This is maybe the most practical tool of all. When you notice a negative or unhelpful thought, you don't fight it. You don't try to suppress it. You simply label it in your mind.
not useful. That simple act creates space. It drains the thought of its power. I'm telling you, it is an absolute game changer.
See, this is what it all boils down to. A simple, practical way to manage your inner world. So, I'll leave you with a little challenge. What's just one thought you can notice today that is simply not useful? Because the moment you notice it, the practice has already begun.